Look at this number. This is the speed of light, or the speed limit to our universe, meaning that nothing can travel faster than it. But is this true? Well, in science fiction, characters consistently travel at speeds beyond light speed, racking up a pretty hefty fine in speeding tickets, and the term you may hear when this happens is warp drive. Before we learn all about warp drives, we must first understand gravity. You can imagine our 3D universe as this 2D trampoline, where objects with lots of mass like me, or for say a planet, will weigh in on the trampoline, curving the fabric. Now, this allows lighter objects like a soccer ball, or in the case of our analogy, the moon, to roll towards me, or in this case, gravitate towards me, kind of like gravity. Now, you're probably wondering what gravity bending the fabric of our universe has to do with achieving inconceivable speeds, but we can actually use the curvature of spacetime to our advantage by shortening the distance needed to travel. And now you probably think I'm crazy. Shorten the distance? How in the world do we do that? It may seem impossible to shorten the distance needed to travel, however, if we use the bending of spacetime to our advantage, we can achieve this. In the same way that if I were to curve a rope, the ends would get closer together, when we bend spacetime, we're able to shorten the distance. Now, this curve may account for the distance, but remember, we still need to achieve some amount of speed. For a warp drive, speed is created by bending the spacetime behind it upwards like a wave, allowing the vessel to sort of surf on it. And this makes sense, right? By bending spacetime inwards, we make things attract, so intuitively, by bending spacetime upwards, we make things repel, or in this case, propel. Now, once we combine these two changes in spacetime, we get something that looks like this, where the warp drive rides the wave behind it while shortening the distance in front of it. This allows people like Luke Skywalker or James Holden to travel at inconceivable speeds, but the reason why I can't do the same for me or Scott Kelly is because of two things. Number one is that gravitational forces are very weak, meaning that to bend spacetime the way a warp drive demands you to, you need a lot of power and control. Number two is that there's no possible way of bending spacetime upwards. If positive mass bends spacetime downwards and inwards like I described earlier, then we need something that has negative mass to bend spacetime upwards, which isn't currently possible. So, although we might not ever be able to harness the full potential of warp drives, it's still pretty fun to imagine the worlds that can. And who knows? For all we don't know, and for all we don't know, there's still maybe a small chance that we can actually harness the full potential of the Alcubierre warp drive.